Well, hello there. It's been a while. Welcome back to the Mike Papakilo YouTube channel. We have a PTR Industries PTR91 here. It actually looks like it's built off a parts kit. You can see the trigger's got some wear to it, which I don't know if I like or dislike that yet because I don't know how cheap these parts kits are. And that safety is definitely well worn in for a new firearm. This all looks like surplus plastic parts kits. I don't know how they attach that rail, but we will figure that out in the teardown video, but it looks like little patches of weld there. This is the PTR91 GI something or another. The GI doesn't have a rail. I got the one with the rail because it was only like $100 more. And we can do some proper accuracy assessment with this thing and see what it's actually capable of. I don't know anything about G3's PTR91s. This is not the video for that, but I know looking on YouTube trying to learn more about these guns, there's only milquetoast gun reviews from your typical scumbags on YouTube. Nothing real interesting. Not a whole lot of unbiased reviewing, just, you know, the Hickok 45 folks that just go out, chuckle a little bit and shoot it. I did notice there's this giant scratch on the handguard. Not a fan for a brand new gun. Other than that, the sights are your typical diopter. I have it on the open V-notch right now. And then we'll see what that actually hits at 100 yards. I am going to invest in some better iron sights. They do make like a Chevron. I think Blitzkrieg Industries makes one. Because I'm going to be shooting this in the lethal weapons match. So I kind of want to not suck. And we'll get to introduce the HK slap to the channel because we've never done a full review on a gun with the old HK slap charging gun. But this is a blowback gun in 308, so we'll see how the recoil fares. I wanted to buy an FAL. They're basically impossible to get. So this was the next best thing readily available. Bought it on Atlantic Firearms, took them a week to get it to me. And here we are. So we've got some of my typical 308 reloads. This is just 44 grains of Varget, sitting at an overall length of like 71 millimeters. As you can see, I've got a lot of this stuff. And then just for the first 10 rounds, we'll do a half magazine of some factory ammo because as you guys know, these blowback guns have fluted chambers and they ruin brass, which really sucks as a reloader. So that's one thing that's going to keep me from owning this long term is you can't reload fluted chambered brass because, well, we'll show you. It just basically destroys it. There's no recycling it. I don't think this flash hider is going to do much for us as far as recoil compensation because for whatever reason there's cuts on the bottom. It's not like an A2 birdcage does much for recoil compensation, but I guess I did just think about in Texas a lot of dust. So shooting this prone probably would not be great. I have to keep it stock for the lethal weapons match. Otherwise, if I kept it long term, I'll put a brake on it. And there's your typical HK style front sight that they stole from the Russians. That probably stole it from somebody else because that's what the Russians are good at. But here's all the markings. Like I said, that looks like a surplus G3 lower because there's so many surplus G3 parts even now in 2023. The magazines that used to be like $3 or $4, I remember buying some, are now like $8 or $9, which is still cheaper than new AR mags nowadays, but they're surplus new or lightly used. So there's PTR's logo upside down. And there's that wonderful scratch again. So not a whole lot of pride in their work I can see, especially with these worn parts that they didn't take time to refinish. From a new gun, I'm not very picky. I really don't care about aesthetics, usually because I actually use my firearms. But that's, as an unbiased reviewer, I'm not really impressed. Got your two different magazine releases there. That seems really far away. We'll see if I can even reach that. So, all right, let's get to shooting this thing. I brought my surplus mag pouches that I bought for like $5 on RTG gun parts, I think. And they smell like surplus warehouse. It's pretty neat. And I've got all aluminum magazines because steel mags are heavy. But one thing you'll notice about the G3 style mags, whether it's a 308 or a 9mm, it's not really a straight push-in. It's kind of a rocking sort of deal. Let's see if I can set this gun up. There we go. So if you notice, kind of coming in at an angle. And it kind of goes in straight, but then you can see there's still this levering action. And then when you take it out, it's the same thing. It kind of levers out and then it slides out. So that's gonna be a little bit different to try and practice reloads, but we'll cross that bridge when we burn it. For those of you who are wondering what a $1,200 gun comes in, well, very lackluster. We got one surplus $8 aluminum magazine that will run first. Cardboard filler, came in a cellophane bag, and that's about it. I don't even see a manual in here. Got a Big Tex Ordnance card. Big thanks to them sponsoring the channel, letting me come out here and shoot today. All I had to do was show up and be nice and run their 2-gun 3 or USPSA matches, and they let me use the range, which is pretty neat. But yeah, there's no owner's manual or nothing. There's all the info on it. Pretty lackluster. Not very happy about that PTR. I know $300 Turkish shotguns that come in plastic cases, so probably you should step up your game. So here's the cool little setup that you get at BTO. Nice little lit cubby. You got your switch that I wish was a tactile switch that stuck so you didn't have to sit there and hold it, but hey, can't have everything. Got a 100-yard indoor range that's marked at 25, 50. Maybe you can see 75 marked out there on the wall. Yeah, and then 100 yards is all the way back. And then I'm on the broken side of the range that they don't put people on. But normally you'd even have a 100-yard camera. You don't even have to pull your targets in if you don't want to. You can actually see your targets. But obviously I'm here shooting for 0 American pesos. So I requested to be put on the broken side. So here we are. Pretty cool little setup. Highly recommended. It's the only indoor 100-yard range I've ever shot at, and it's only 20 bucks. All right. Doing the thing you can't do on YouTube. Actually going to show you guys how to load the magazine. It's just like an AR-15. We're going to shoot 5 rounds, see where the sights are, and go from there. Nice lightweight aluminum magazine. I would not recommend shooting steel mags just because of the extra weight. This gun is already fairly heavy as it is, and I got some surface rust on my follower. Again, not a whole lot of attention to detail with this brand new gun. It's pretty banged up. It just feels wrong putting brand new brass into a gun that's going to destroy it, but there you go. Double stack, double feed magazine, just like an AR-15. Pretty simple. Safety, left side of the gun. I imagine you could probably get an ambi safety for these. There's tons of surplus parts out there. Like I said, it's a weird rock and push kind of thing. And then you can pull on it, make sure it's seated, and then do our favorite thing. Yeah, that makes me happy. So I'm gonna go get my range bag so we can have a rest and try and shoot this thing somewhat accurately. The first thing I'm noticing about these sights is that they suck, just like most iron sights. You got a 400 notch, oh boy, 300 notch, 200 notch, or peep sight, and the 100 is actually a notch itself. It has a little number 1 and a notch into it. Once you look down it, you can't see diddly. And yeah, the front post is dark because we're indoors. I brought double ears. I don't know how loud this is going to be, but my ears are getting way worse as I get older. Tinnitus is hereditary in my family, and shooting guns and working around heavy equipment does not help that. So we'll see how hard this brass flings against this steel wall to my left, but right now I'm more worried about getting this front post where it needs to be. It's really hard to get down these sights even though there is a drop in the stock. So that's something you need to think about with optics. I brought some low riser optics and some taller ones to do in the next video. We'll see how that works out, but right now I guess let's shut the hell up and shoot the thing, Mike. That's what everyone's here for. See how bad this trigger is. I didn't even dry fire this. Forgot to do that. That's actually not a bad trigger, and it doesn't really, this gun doesn't kick too bad. You know, for 308, that actually recoils better than some AR-10s I've used. So my giant-ass finger can actually reach this, but you have to pull underneath anyway, so you might as well just grab the magazine here and rip it out. I don't know why they have this here. I'm the only person on the face of the planet that can somewhat reach it, and even I can't reach it. So I don't know why that's there. But yeah, for a 308, that doesn't kick too bad at all. I'm impressed. Just as I thought, this gun is hitting way low and way right. I didn't think it was going to be zeroed out of box, but not bad for getting 3 on top of each other. There was one in there, I couldn't find the front sight, so I just target focused and sent it, hoping it was in the right spot. But the rest of those I really focused on where the sights were. It's a pretty decent group to start out, but I don't know how the hell we're going to adjust these sights. So big thank you to the guys at hkparts.com and their YouTube channel for making a video on this nonsensical shenanigans. About 204 or have 2 super skinny punches for, which I didn't do. But the windage we can figure out. We gotta loosen that Phillips head and this little thumb wheel on the sides. They say some of them don't come with a thumb wheel. That one is what adjusts your windage, which clearly PTR didn't do. Again, $1,200 gun, they couldn't bother to sight it in. So that's pretty gross. But we'll go ahead and adjust it for windage, see if we can get it on here at 25, and then see if this little notch sight really is on at 100. And if I need to adjust it, I will. I'm not gonna use this front sight long term, so we'll do an updated video on that possibly before lethal weapons. So I'm not too terribly worried about the height adjustment, but I'm definitely worried about the windage. And since it's so easy to fix, we'll do that right now. But the fact that the Germans went with a Phillips head over a flat head is confusing to me. I despise the Phillips head screw, but really the best way to go is triangle drive, and nobody adopted it, so there you go. Get my cheapo Browning gunsmithing kit. I used to carry these at the Tac Shack. I don't know if anyone else carries them. They're pretty handy to have and very inexpensive. It doesn't cost more than 15, 20 bucks. So if I move the rear sight to the left, it'll bring the muzzle of the gun to the left. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So how do we move you to the left? Let's move to the right. I want to go to the left. So tightening makes it go to the left. This just feels cheap and chintzy, but hey, it's the Germans did, so it must be good, yeah. As I strip out this Phillips head, I'll probably take it out, Loctite it, and go from there. So load another 5 rounds here. I'll just do 3. I don't like wasting this perfectly good brass on this HK nonsense. I'll try and get you guys in for a good side view so you can see the brass slinging out of this thing. There we go. HK schlapperoony time. All right, 3 more rounds here at 25. See if I can get them at least windaged properly. And I'm surprised, oh wow, this whole thing canted now. That's not too bad. Really, my eye leaf for these iron sights are about 6 inches off the stock. So right now I'm just kind of looking at a blur for rear sight. Not really a fan of that, but this trigger doesn't completely suck, which is cool. Oh, these sights are terrible. See how we did. Well, it's hard not to pat yourself on the back when you're this good. So windage is good. We'll see if it hits out at 100 yards, which I doubt, because you're not going to gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5.5, 6 inches at 100 yards from this ballistics, but we'll give it a shot. Give it a shot. Get it. Never mind. Got 20 rounds loaded into this thing. Trying to get the 21st in there. I might be able to mess with the spring and fall if I really wanted to, but the one thing I do want to check here, I'll put the safety on. A lot of guys on the interweb say that you can't load a fully loaded magazine into one of these guns with the bolt forward. I've never tried it because I've never had the gun. Clearly they're wrong, because that works, but I don't have a whole lot of hope in hell that this is gonna hit. So we're gonna send 10 rounds just to be sure and see if we're gonna be on. But I already know I'm gonna try and find a buttstock extension for this because the sight radius for my eyes to line up is like 4 to 6 inches back. And honestly, the length of pull, I kind of want the gun to be right here. And I need at least 3 inches extra on the gun for it to fit my giant ape frame. So we'll get there when we get there. I'll do a lot of research, see what I can find, but see if we can't get you guys lined up here for a nice side shot of this thing, slinging brass in the stratosphere. And then we'll look at the brass and I'll show you what I mean by fluted chambers. So, even getting the safety off, if you don't have giant ass thumbs, that could be a trip. So, I'm actually gonna try and take my time and see these stupid sights. See if we can't get a group together here. These are not ideal. That is not easy, boys and girls. I doubt we'll be able to see the target from all the way back here, but we can try. A couple of them went left, a couple of them went right. If you guys noticed, I was adjusting my chin. I was trying to bring my eyes out of that rear notch so I can see where the front sight was, and I bring my face back down. But it kind of looks like we're favoring the left side. I can't really tell. I'll bring the target in a little bit. We'll see what the hell's going on. It looks like I'm hitting way low, so we were definitely gonna have to figure out how to adjust these fucking sights. Dang it! So here's our first 5 shots, our second 3. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of these barely made it on paper, so definitely need to adjust this up. Gonna have to figure out how to do that real quick. Well, after many swear words and riding the struggle bus with 2 of the employees here, we couldn't get it to go, but there's those 2 stupid little detents that you have to compress simultaneously and have enough space to clear the wall so that this drum can spin freely of that center section, but we couldn't get it done. So I ordered the $50 freaking rear sight tool. So that sucks, but I need that to shoot lethal weapons. I also ordered a buttstock extension because this one's like 2 or 3 inches too short for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this to the 200-yard peep sight, and we'll see if that hits at 100 yards. There's our target all the way down yonder. Get you guys a nice little side view here. This gun runs really nice, I have to admit. I was expecting roller delayed to be a little more violent, but it does a pretty freaking good job. But this length of pull is for children. The trigger actually doesn't suck. Pretty impressed. And we'll see how accurate this thing is in the second video when I put a red dot on it and do a real accuracy assessment. But between the Aguila and my reloads, they both shoot about the same. I mean, this thing slings brass in the stratosphere just because the roller delayed, but it's tuned pretty good. I was expecting worse. Load the magazine all the way up again and just again try and induce any excess friction from overloading it with one in the chamber, but again, with how violently this thing cycles, I don't think we're gonna have any problems. So there's 20, rock it in, drop the magazine, That did feel kind of sluggish going into battery. It's a little bit of mag pressure, but it's nothing too bad. So, oh man, I hate peep sights. What I learned was if I'm about 2 inches, 3 inches back on the stock, the sights actually clean up better, which is nice. But yeah, the way she sits right now, the sights are not great. Just because my face is too close to focus on this at all. I mean, I don't think anyone can focus on much of anything at this distance. But back here, I can split my vision pretty easy. It's just that the stock is not touching me, and I don't want this thing to accelerate my shoulder or break my face. So let's see how we do here. This front sight centers itself a lot better than the rear sight with this actual peep. The V-notch is not great. Might have to find a solution to this. Oh, gun's unsafe. I was like, I remember the trigger being better than this. I actually like that peep sight better. It centers way faster. See how I shot? It's probably terrible. Well, that's a pretty freaking good group, all things considered. Pulled one off to the right, but that's a 1, 2, 3. That's like a 2.5, 3 inch group minus the flyer on the right. So I might just keep this at the 200-yard diopter and not even worry about adjusting the sight now that I freaking bought the sight tool. But we'll be able to fine tune it because I'm going to change that front post out to a chevron. But I'm going to put this at 25 yards, tape up those 4 holes, and see where it zeroes at 25. Because if that's a flat enough zero, because the height over bore is not too high, I might just keep it at that. We'll see how it shoots. All right, so here's the magazine I've been using. Grab a different magazine here out of my Cold War pouch. You can see there's no wear pattern on this side, but you can see the mag I've been using where the mag release wears in. Again, just documenting everything I know about this. It's new to me, and it might be new to some of you guys watching. So just getting as much information as I can. We'll take a look at this brass next, but I want to see if I can stack all the rounds on top of each other here at 25 yards. So I guess the only difference between loading a 20 round mag and a 19 is with a 19 you still have to beat the sumbitch in there, so it really doesn't matter. I thought the 19 would be easier, but I was wrong. Interesting. All right, let's see where the 200-yard zero sits at 25 yards. Yeah, I definitely need a stock extension here. I think that is the zero. I like that a lot. Slightly low at 25 and slightly high at 100. That's where I'm keeping that zero. Not the best group, but I don't shoot iron sights for shit anyway, and they're kind of a hot dog down the hallway right now. But, well, PTR, you didn't zero the gun, but it's the zero I want. So I guess that works. I'm gonna go ahead and do a mag dumpy do because that's the fan service we want, isn't it? So I guess I got to take my time with the unload and show clear because I just jacked this thing out of the chamber and it came out at like Mach 5. But I'll put it next to the other one I jacked out earlier. And next to these 2 pieces of brass. This thing really slings brass. You can see the 3 on the right, they've got all those flutes running down the brass. I'm almost certain that you can't reload these. It's probably not going to stop me from trying. But I don't know, we'll see. And then you can see a regular piece of brass that was shot out of a normal non-fluted chamber doesn't have any, so it might be that I can reload this stuff, but I don't know. I'll send it through a resizing die and see what happens. But that's probably going to be the main thing that keeps me from shooting this thing a bunch, because 308's expensive. I like loading it for 45 cents a round instead of buying it for over $1 a round. Okay, so the next video we're actually put an optic on this thing and see if we can get some accuracy out of it. What happened to my magazine? It was fully loaded in here, just there it is. Well, it wasn't fully loaded, I lied. So the next video we're actually put an optic on this thing. I wish I had a magnified optic to put on it, but I don't. I'm not going to go spend another $200 today. So the next video we'll have some accuracy assessment with optics, see what the height over bore of the optic needs to be to make it efficient, and see how accurate this thing is at 100 yards. But right now, I'm just going to try and shoot this and keep it on paper as fast as I can. Yeah, that's cool. Let's see if we actually hit anything. Yeah, I don't have the availability of leaning into it since I'm sitting down, so I didn't shoot as fast as I would like to, but at indoor range you don't really want to do a mag dump because you don't want to ruin, you know, the baffles, the rails, the floor. So you want to make sure you're actually hitting your target. So let's see if I did that. Low and left, Batman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I only got 15 rounds on target. Dang it. I imagine the rest of them went over here. Oh well, life is good. Got the PTR91 nice and warm. Let it cool down, we'll do some accuracy assessment. Thanks for watching.